In this week's segment, a pastor is taking up the art of pottery. And in the meantime, molding his life makes him this week's Extraordinary Ordinary.
Isaiah writes about how we are clay in God's hands. It was something I always wanted to do. Appreciated pottery and the ability to take a lump of clay and stick it on a wheel and make it into something hopefully attractive.
It's a nice hobby for retirement.
Bruce Wright has been retired for a couple of years now. Stepped away from his job at the hospital, still active in his church as a pastor. He'll be the first to admit, without pottery, he'd be driving his wife Elaine crazy.
At the end of the day, I have to feel like I've accomplished something. Maybe it's just my personality, but I feel like if I go to bed and I haven't done something that day that I feel is an accomplishment, I'm bummed. This gives me something every day that I feel like I can work at and put my hands to.
And the lessons in pottery spill over into life.
When I'm sitting hunched over that wheel and centering the clay is really centering me.
And vice versa.
I put pressure on that clay to form it. That's what God does with us. Pressure is never comfortable. It's never something that's pleasant. But rather than avoiding it, I believe what I've tried to do with my Parkinson's is to embrace it.
You heard him right. A hobby that takes the steadiest of palms is being mastered by a man with Parkinson's.
Again, as a pastor, I have always been motivated to encourage people not to let the circumstances that come into their life dictate to them which direction their life's going to go. I mean, we have to adjust and change plans oftentimes. I just did not want this thing to dictate to me that I couldn't do that. That didn't cut very cleanly. I thought, well, we'll just do the best we can do. We'll try to embrace the disease and adapt accordingly.
Bruce has had to form his own technique, but he seems to be doing well with it and inspiring others with his website, Pottery with Parkinson's. Bruce just takes it a day at a time. He says he lets Jesus take the wheel.
And we are as clay in his hands, and he molds us into what he wants us to be.
He's pretty extraordinary, to do this pottery and to follow through with it.
Coined a phrase in my church. I said, God gives us speed bumps. And it's designed to slow us down, to catch our attention, and to seek God in the process. Parkinson's is just a speed bump.
By the way, all the proceeds that he receives from his website, Pottery with Parkinson's, he donates to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Bruce recently had surgery that will limit what he calls the bad signals in the brain, and that surgery has had a terrific success rate in helping with Parkinson's. If you have all this information, I will put on our website, fox13news.com, as well as our Facebook page. And if you have an idea, someone or something you think is an extraordinary ordinary, shoot me a suggestion on Facebook or on Twitter.
That metaphor he had about putting pressure, on the clay.
Yeah.
But, all of us facing pressure in our lives eventually in the end molds us into something beautiful.
And it's never comfortable.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. Makes us who we are, right? There you go.